Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering of my sampler platter. Yes, see, folks, sampler review series videos I do for the one. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I think I need to start shaving the sides of my heads again. It's starting to come in a little bit too full. And I don't need that. I got that fucking Reed Richards thing, where it's like, top is pretty much, still doing okay on the brown, but like the sides, that's where you can see the gray coming in. It's not full on Reed Richards, but it's more than I like it. But anyway, it's super simple format, folks. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm inside the truck. Whilst I'm inside the truck, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when those two things coincide, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is not the case today, however. Well, not in this particular instance. No, this is just an instance where I'm taking advantage of the weather. It is beautiful. It's a nice overcast day. It's like 64 degrees, and I'm like, man, let me just get some fucking reviews in. So, I came home, grabbed some stuff from my fridge that's been in there for a little bit, and I'm like, let's get to reviewing. So, what's the first thing that I'm going to be reviewing for you folks? Well, I picked this up at Rocket Fizz, which is a specialty soda and candy store, and it's extremely Canadian because it's, boom! It is Canadian maple syrup soda. Yes! Yes! Oh, Canada! That's the only part of that I know. Our home and native land. I don't know. It is premium crafted with pure cane sugar. It's a product of the USA. Yes! Go America! It's a product of the USA. I think this one is actually from Rocket Fizz itself, because Rocket Fizz, they do, or at least, brand their own soda, and this one is saying Rocket Fizz Soda Pop and Candy Shop. So, this Canadian maple syrup soda is made in the USA, most likely by Rocket Fizz. That's awesome. I was wondering, I'm like, who makes this? Oh, America does. You gotta take it back, Canada. I'm just saying, do what you need to do. But I'm just saying, we're taking your soda, taking your maple syrup. Let's give it a go. Are you a twist off, or are you just a thing? Oh, it twists, but it doesn't matter. Electrical cabinet key. Go! And I like to, it's not that I'm scared about opening it or anything. I like to pry it up slowly because I don't want to bang up the top too much. Because I like to go over there and collect the bottles of interesting stuff. Whoo! That smells mapley. Now, the thing is, there's a big difference between proper maple syrup and, what most Americans get. I'm guessing whatever is their actual maple syrup. There can't be actual maple syrup. Caramel color, natural flavor, yeah. Let's give it a go. Ooh. That's not bad. That's actually really tasty. I think the reason why it's so tasty, it reminds me of a caramel or a butterscotch root beer. Yeah, it has, a certain amount of kind of earthiness to it that you might have from a root beer. And I'm not saying it's exact or anything, but it's very evocative. If you've ever had a butterscotch or caramel root beer, it's kind of like a root beer, but then, you get an extra hit of sweetness from, again, caramel or butterscotch. This is very evocative of that. And with the exception of the initial hit, so typically speaking, when you go over there and you open up a bottle, like of damn near anything, that first hit that you're going to get is going to be the strongest flavor. That's going to be because it's like this condensed stuff and it's all kind of come to the top. So when the first hit of this, I did get like actually a pretty strong maple scent and flavor. Now that that has pretty much exhausted itself, it's much more subdued. There is a little bit of a mapleness kind of, thing to it, but it's more sort of just a little bit throughout, adding in a little extra sweetness, and then at the end you get sort of like a mapleness. But the rest of it is, kind of close to like sort of like a cream soda or a root beer. That's not bad. Honestly, so here's the thing. I think they were smart in not going too heavy on the maple flavor, because I think that could have been just a bit much. However, I do think they could have done more maple flavor. Because I think if the maple flavor had held stronger throughout the entire drinking experience, it would have given it a little added uniqueness to it. Whereas I feel as the maple flavor, it's still there, but it's, increasingly lingering throughout the, the course of the drink. It loses a little bit of that personality. Which is a shame, because the maple actually, I'm somebody, I love root beers, cream sodas, birch beers. I love earthy sodas. Maple as a soda doesn't sound too, I wouldn't have immediately thunk it, but actually it worked pretty well. I also have to give a little extra credit to this one. The Rocket Fizz branded sodas, the ones that they produce, are usually not that great. They tend to be gimmicky, and they tend to really not offer much. This one, obviously, it's a little bit gimmicky, but, it actually still tastes pretty good and has a good amount of flavor to it, so... I just wish it... I wonder if there's, some birch or something in this. Because if you've ever had birch beer, it's delicious, by the way. Absolutely try it if you like root beer. Birch beer has this unique aspect to it because it's made from birch, where it actually has a little bit of a numbing sensation that kind of coats your mouth. And I kind of get a little of that on my tongue. So I don't know if that's birch or something else, but... But yeah, honestly, for something that should be gimmicky and potentially awful, that's actually really tasty. I don't have any freaking huge gripes with that. That's tasty and good. It's... My biggest point of contention is, honestly, again, I think they could have ran more maple flavor through it. I think if it had stayed as unique as it was when I first took that first hit, I think that I would absolutely adore this. But even as is, I do like it. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes, and sort of. Here's the thing. I would get this again, but I'd love to see another company, maybe a Canadian company. I'd love to see them tackle this flavor and do it their way. I'd love to see multiple companies, because honestly, this really has me kind of excited at the prospect of maple soda now. It shouldn't work as well as it does. It should be a little bit gross, but it's good, and it's got familiar flavors and familiar stylings. I think if you did it right, you could really have something really special on your hands. But until we get to that point, although I'm definitely going to look into it now, this is perfectly suitable. It promised more than it could ultimately give me, but not by leaps and bounds. And ultimately what I got was still something I really enjoyed, and I would get again, because it's unique and it works to my palate. Now, would I recommend it to other people? That's a harder thing to do. I think if you're somebody who you already enjoy root beers and cream sodas, and let me emphasize when I'm talking about that, I'm not trying to gatekeep. I'm not talking so much people who are into oh, I like A&W root beer. That's fine. Oh, I like mug root beer. That's fine. Those are fine. But I don't think that they would lend themselves well as a launching pad onto more adventurous, types of sodas. I'm not saying don't try it. Absolutely do. Maybe you'll take something away from it. But when I say, like, oh, if you're somebody who likes root beer or cream sodas, I am talking about people who probably are already drinking, maybe a little bit harder root beers, things that have a little bit more complexity. Not that I would say this has a lot of complexity, but it is unusual. And I feel like if you're already somebody who's kind of, in that place, this would be something to try. Because I do think it's interesting and good, even if it's, like I said, I don't feel it lives up to its full potential, but I do think it's something worth trying. For everybody else, I would just say probably not. It's good, and I don't think it's all that weird, but I could see people not being into it. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, Monday, mental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You go over there, have yourselves a truly, Canada, rest of your life. Because, Canadians seem like good folks. They do Canada stuff. Y'all like hockey. Hockey's pretty cool. But what's the thing? The Letterkenny. That's really good. And Shoresy is fucking fantastic. Shoresy is so good. I'm waiting to see how the next season goes. But if it's as good or better as the previous season, we're going to give you one of our states. Okay? Because you deserve it. Not one of the good ones, maybe like Wyoming or some shit. Maybe one of the Carolinas. We already got another one. Anyway, final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But we do can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole, especially when you're over there drinking Canadian soda that's produced by America. That's got to be a little bit disheartening. That's like when we had the... several years back now, when we had the, for the Olympics, we had, like, the fucking, like, the Olympic, gear and stuff was for sale, and it was made in China. It's like, come on now. But it's important, though, when we run into situations in our life that are stressful, frustrating, etc., take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to do. Maybe go over there and get yourself some Canadian maple syrup soda. Maybe while you're doing so, go watch yourself some Letterkenny. Maybe Letterkenny's not your speed. Fair enough, it's not for everybody. Go watch yourself some Shoresy. All you really need to do is, like, watch some clips of Shoresy from Letterkenny, because it's, it's like a branch-off series. But they are so different in so many ways, and it's wonderful, and it's amazing. Every person I have talked to who has seen Shoresy said the exact same thing. It shouldn't work even half as well as it does, and it's brilliant. It's really good.